This is Regina's Rabbit Hole, Siren Buddha Medicine. Just gonna talk. This is difficult. This Truman Show crap is really hard. Really hard lately to be around people who are doing street performances, being fake friends, affiliated with organizations that just want to find out what you're doing with your time. The noise campaign, and the love bite situation is just overwhelming. Psychologically, I'm really going through because I'm wondering if anyone really hears me. You know? Is anyone? There isn't anyone, right? There's no one left that wants to help other people. That's not a part of the gang stalking situation, right? I'm just sitting here waiting to die. Now, I've said this before. I'm pretty sure of it. And I know that the gang stalkers are really enjoying my sadness, and like, if there's nowhere to go, if I go to the domestic violence shelters, I get stalked there. I don't get the help that I need. I'm getting stalked there. Is anybody hearing me? Or you still think that I'm crazy, right? Or I'm lying? I get no donations and help for the research and the work that I do for the community, so I have no extra money to do anything with. I'm stuck, just as much as anybody with no money feels stuck where they are. But I do the best I can with the resources that I have, which is my mind. So I put that to use, and I try to give you the tools that I use to deal with the gang stalking, to deal with the cyber terrorism, to deal with the cell towers, the radiation. I'm still looking at the community duplicate my work more than they'll like or share or donate to my work. I even support it with interaction. The interaction that I'm seeing is some clone regurgitating stuff that I taught years ago, and I know no one else was doing it because I dared to go in a different direction. No thank you. For the most part, there's a few people that mean a lot to me because they've been supporting me and emotionally going through all this because it's real and I'm a real fucking person. That means a lot to me, to be supported while people are trying to kill me. Yeah. So I wake up and I'm like, with the thought on my mind, and that we gang stalk people who are TIs experience being gang stalked, is like, is this shit real? Is this really real? Like, you want it to be in your head. You want to be psychotic. You want it to go away. You want to be in a situation where you could just take a pill or do something and it would all go away. Just disappear until your crazy consciousness that just popped up. You know what I'm saying? That there's no relevance to what it is that you're experiencing or going through. But there is. There's just some things I wanted to say in case I'm not able to say them later. So what's really rotten is that a lot of the people that I'm seeing are the same people that are supposed to be your like these faces that I'm seeing that are doing the gang stalking online and off. Today it was a lot of white men, and it really was aggravating the nerve of these men who are doing the gang stalking. Like, you can give yourself whatever scenario you want to in your head, as you did, to give you a reason to have the balls to go do something like that to a woman, or even anybody who doesn't deserve it, or even if someone did deserve it, that you don't have the balls just to go up to them, put handcuffs on them, and bring them through your freaking judicial system like you do everybody else. Instead, you're just a snake. You look people in their eyes, and you're walking around and driving around in the community harassing women. I had the anger that I'm feeling, just and the indigenous part of me as a melanated woman. I mean, I still feel angry when I see Hispanic men or melanated men stalking me, because they get paid to do it too. But there's something about these white men doing it, and just the capacity they have to do it is on another level with their cameras, and they're more organized than, say, some Hispanic person jumping on a bus. That's a part of it, because they got jumped in from being part of the DOC population. I'm talking about the ones that, before I knew what was happening, I was looking across them to help me issue a license or something that I needed to do in the judicial system. So these are the faces that I saw of policemen, judges, lawyers. These are the faces that I'm seeing. They look like they're dressed down in cars and trucks. Even like across the street, the neighbor across the street is a part of the 211 answering service, information service. Now, those of you who've been watching me for years know that years ago I had an inclination, before I found the information online, that 211 was involved in the gang stalking and terrorizing other citizens. But now I know for sure, it's documented, that 211 is a part of the system for policing citizens. And this guy lives across the street. Anytime my friend, I thought was my friend, she was a fake friend, she has cancer. That ish was weird. I got Benjamin from her, because Benjamin wasn't being treated right. So she let me have Benjamin. She told me I could take Benjamin. So I did. Then Benjamin ended up sick a few years later. after the repairman from the man who owns this house that I rent was fixing something, furnace or something like that. I brought a repairman in here to do that. And he gave my dog a Chewy toy. And after that, Benjamin was sick with cancer. Giving people's dogs cancer is one of the things that they do to gang stalkers. And I kept trying to think in my mind, where else could my dog have gotten sick like that? There was also the neighbor that stole my dog, and then when Benjamin scratched her daughter, she returned it back. But they wanted to know if the dog had shots. They wanted to know if the dog had all its shots, and then I ended up going to court because Benjamin didn't have all its shots, but I got Benjamin secondhand from the woman who lived across the street from the woman who stole my dog, so she knew who my dog was when she took it. But none of that made sense to the officer who was just trying to give me a fine for Benjamin at the time. That's all been documented too. If you look at the gang stalking documentation that I've done over the years. So now I'm sitting here in this bubble and I know what's going on, and I know I'm seeing these people and I have to deal with them every day. I have to swallow my anger. My husband is brutally abusive and I have to swallow it every day, because if I act out, I'm threatened with getting thrown into a mental hospital, and I know I sure don't want to go to jail and be a part of that population. I don't have any family to go to. They're mostly military and just watch me. That hurts my heart so deeply to know that a lot of them I just deleted. Like if they really never corresponded with me very much, I just took them off of my Facebook. But a couple of cousins I left on there. The kind of people or the kind of person that has to be capable of doing things like this. I'm thinking about the archons and thinking about how the government, scientists and people who do stuff for the government, how they have basically really worked hard to hijack everything that the Most High does and duplicate it. So looking at the archons in the way that works, because the Most High said, it's written that after the flood, the Nephilim would be no more. So there were no more giants, but they were turned into thought forms. They just didn't have bodies. But they are allowed to influence our physical bodies, especially when we're not into alignment with the will of the Most High. So with these computers and the churn and the nanotechnology, and you have the chemtrails, and you have the nanotechnology in the food, and you have the nanotechnology in this black goo and in the graphite, and the ish is turning up everywhere. We're breathing it in. It's in the food, like I was saying. It's in the coming down from the chemtrails, from the sky. It's in the water. It's everywhere. And graphite can take remote control signals from a telephone. Look it up. So you add in your nanotechnology. They have technology that is just crazy. It's just so crazy. So I'm wondering if you guys are really there anymore, because you don't seem to be human. No human person could just mutilate another human being for a pastime. And for entertainment, and it's supposed to be funny, because I'm a living, breathing person. I have feelings. I have children. I have a daughter that's going through this too, that they messed up. They did MK to, and I want to help her. Right now, the route that I went through with the lawyer is kind of stagnated. I don't know what's going on with that. They were being hit hard with remote control viewed weapons, and she had gotten married to another person who was on the same path as her. They both got hit hard. Was it Catherine Horton? Yeah, Catherine Horton. So I was hoping to get more legal advice or help through that pathway, but it looks like it's been temporarily shut down because there's really no responses or anything on the Patreon from her right now, and an occasional YouTube. And I really do, I can understand that, because the kind of stuff that you have to deal with just to be able to report what they're doing is amazing. Back to the Archon thing and the thought form thing. They're able to, the reason why I'm talking about this technology, they're able to get in your head and do so many things that they weren't capable of before, or it wasn't as advanced, the technology as it is now. So, talk about Manchurian candidate. Like, I was thinking sleeper cells and stuff like that. Just putting thought forms in people's heads, like, where does Karen really come from? You know? And who are her children? Why is she stuck thinking like that? And some of you already know the answer. That it's important to have Karens. It's important to have pedophile-like or pedophile Caucasian men following around an attractive melanated woman to intimidate her, to sexually harass her. Like, I would not, the indigenous part of me wouldn't kick in and be thinking, I just keep thinking about what my ancestors went through, what my great grandmama must have went through. What it feels like today to walk to the store or to live across the street from these nasty white men, and I can't do anything about them watching me because I'm a targeted individual, because some government authority said that it was okay for the population to brutalize and terrorize me. Until I turn myself in to the mental health facility, as I had did in the past before I realized what the WTF was going on. So I know what's going on, but there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. I went there already. And I was gang stalked there. So I live in a whole town, right? Get you thinking. And I'm definitely not crazy. If A is true and B is true, then C is also true. Are we not in a time of revelation? Or in technological advancement? That's A. So the tech stuff that I'm talking about is low grade compared to the kind of stuff that's actually going on. If what I'm saying is true, and it is. Oh, but it is. And anybody who doesn't know is just a sheep. They can utilize the sleeping parts when we're asleep to do whatever they want. Because you're not looking up with people that know the truth. So that's no threat. And I don't know why they call us useless eaters when they're utilizing those same people to buy their food. Pay attention to their subliminal messages. That's currency to them. That's currency to them. What we have is, right, who is Karen and where does she come from anyway? Karen is just one pawn. We have a Karen. We might call her Shanae. I don't know. But we have those types. We have bigots. And no, they're not organized and they don't have the finances and things like that that the so-called elite have. That can utilize the government and the military and human services in order to float whatever terrorism that they want to do on other citizens, because they're mind controlled. Seriously, they've been fed thought forms that are appealing to whatever kind of shadow being they have inside of them. And I know, because I've been there. Whatever kind of thought form projection we have inside of us, that's what they're going to utilize to be able to float their projection, their archon, their thing that's going to help puppeteer you, right? So for me right now, I'm angry at the archetype that they're giving me because they've tried so many different types. And they want me to hate men, to hate you, because you're, and I'm talking to the men that are doing this, so fucking ignorant and disgusting. To watch another woman and watch her melt down and watch her intimate parts. How can you even look yourself in the mirror or look at your wives and daughters and stuff like that when you know you're seeing you're seeing my intimate self? I'm talking about those men who are stalking. Some of you found your wives and children stalking with you. You're doing it as a family. And I know because I'm getting the street performance part of it. And I'm getting the online terrorism part of it. Now, I'm not trying to prove to anybody that this is happening. I'm talking to those directly that are doing it. And those who already know that it's being done. Other people that are being targeted can hear me. So I'm basically talking for us. So, what makes a person's ego, a person's nature, a person's mentality comfortable enough to stalk another person? Like, did they tell you I was a clone or a computer? Like, I'm not a real human being, or I'm a bad human being. That gave you the reason why, right? I'm a bad human being, so that gives you permission to go and be your dirty little nastiest self that you could possibly be. And that's how you're helping society, right? I mean, do you guys get to walk past your chairmen, your teachers, your doctors, like, those types, when you go to church and be like, hey, Joe, how's the stalking going? Oh, it's pretty good. Regina had on some new panties last week. About time. Because we were making fun of her old ones. Because that's the way it was going down for me when I went to the Y. And your mothers, the old ladies that were inside the YMCA, were helping gang stalk because they had sons that were in the military or husbands. They had children that were police officers and stuff that are part of this, and it's extra money to stalk. So I just happen to be there, right? Just happen to be on the list. Just is what it is. Until she melts down, commits suicide, or turns herself into the mental health. And they'll pump her full of medications. Maybe erase her memory again. Grind her down to nothing. Fuck you. I'm watching my daughter go through that now. And fuck you twice. What's waiting for you? First of all, I didn't deserve anything like that, and I don't. No one deserves that kind of treatment. I think of AI. Yeah. And how they invented the artificial intelligence system, humans, to be able to take kicks and slaps, and how much damage can this piece of equipment take? Now, I'm even thinking as far as, I'm thinking of the robots, right? Not in case something bad happens and they just fall over that you want them to be okay. But in case a human gets mad at them and whacks them and does something really messed up out of anger, out of emotions that we have never learned how to control or check. Nobody ever makes us do what we need to do for ourselves. We can just wipe our nasty, dirty feelings all over everybody and call it human. It's just living, right? Oh, the devil got me. A demon got in me. Better luck next time for you. God didn't help you out when I had wrath. You must have did something wrong, and you just were in the path of my karma. But where's yours? Where's your karma? So, these same types of people invent devices to be able to take their abuse. They invent sex dolls that talk to them and say just what they want to hear, because they're incapable of interacting with real human beings. And the interactions that they are doing is like this, or they need to have to group together with other people that are like them, even to the point where they're corrupting their own children to do gang stalking, and their wives to make it okay to stare at other people's wives and children in the privacy of their own homes. Well, if the church said it's all right, you Sunday worshiping little sweeties, then it must be okay. Now this is weird. This is weird reasoning. If somebody does something bad, that gives you the right to do whatever you think is necessary to squash them, right? But then you're using this counterproductive negative energy in order to do that, right? Energy never dies. It only transforms itself, right? Changes. Mutates. It's intelligent. Well, we hope it's intelligent. Kind of stuff I see you guys doing ain't. But we're not talking about that part. Yeah, you're doing some stupid-ish. But the part that I'm trying to get to is, you want people to take your abuse instead of looking at what is making you want to abuse. What is giving you permission to abuse? It's really fascinating. So, the person that you're stalking, the narrative is that they did something worthy of anger. Probably because they were angry or did something that they felt someone else, perhaps that's what you're hearing. Not that it's true, but you're hearing that they did something low down and dirty, right? They used this negative energy. So now you have permission to use your negative energy to squash them, along with this group of people. One person, a group of people can squash because they have permission from authorities, from the police, from the judge, right? From the human services, from the government. You don't even really got to ask no questions. You're just getting paid. Ask no questions. Just get paid. Right? So where does the energy go? What happens to these people who never learn how to deal with other people or treat them correctly? The ones that make puppets and sex dolls and nanobites to go into other people so that they can jerk them around? What happens to those people? Well, they learn how to be really crafty. That's what happens, right? They learn how to be really crafty. And they learn hypnotism. And they learn mind control. And they learn about nanobites and technology. And they learn about personalities and human behavior. And then they go and manipulate dumb MRF people. Vulnerable people. People who need money. People who need to be forgiven because they got into trouble legally, so they use the DLC population. They've even used nurses. Good people end up in a DLC population that have made mistakes. Point made. I had one of you tell me that they made so many mistakes in the past. They were given an out. And they were trying to tell me in so many words what that out was. Because they were stalking me. They were one of the fake friends. But she really wanted to be a friend. And she didn't like what she was doing. And it was written all over her whole self. And I ran into that a few times. Because I know that I'm a very good person. For lack of a better word. I'm one of those people that you wouldn't mind knowing. If you're not full of demons, and even if you are, I might have been able to help with that. I can tolerate you up to a certain point. There's certain freaking things that I just don't fucking like. And one is a pedophile. The other is people who invade other people's freaking personal space. And the other is people who don't allow people to heal. And the other is people who inflict injury on innocent people for fun and for money. Because it gets them off. I don't like people who invent crap. But if it's a punching bag, that's one thing. But something that you want that thing to emulate human feelings and emotions. So that you can punch it, have sex with it, yell at it. What the freak is wrong with you? Why don't you invent a therapist? Why don't you invent a heart? Why don't you invent a clue? Why don't you invent something to help you and your gang stalking little family? Why don't you invent something to help you in Judgment Day? Oh, but you think you have, huh? You think you invented you some really good idea? Well, I'm supposed to be humble, quiet, and just wait to die. Just cry every day. I'm supposed to lose my mind and run into the mental health department, to the handler, please help me. You want me to run to the domestic violence shelter and ask them for help and then send the stalkers in there when you know that my nerves are already like this, you're already in a trauma state, and then have the nerve to send other women in there after me to disturb whatever little tiny crumbs of peace that I could possibly have. Put books in my bunk talking about one of us is lying. Like, we ain't gonna have no mercy on you. There's nobody to help you. Nobody believes you. And we don't care. We're just gonna keep terrorizing you until you totally melt down. Even though all the stuff is right there online. I mean, it's all documented. But the thing is, right, this is the thing. It's documented, but the people doing it are the freaking government. They are the authorities. So it's just like there's nowhere to go. Where do I go? Report it to the police? It's just a report. And for my research, it just actually, it just agitates your situation. Excuse me. It just agitates your situation more. What did I do? Yesterday or a couple of days ago, they follow you all over online. That's part of the cyber stalking. So I was on Reddit and somebody said something like, that they were following them all over the place. And I said, yeah, they do that. Now, what are you going to do? Boy, confidence really bothers you dogs. Here, you know, maybe you need one of these. Huh? You need one of these? Because you're like a dog with a bone when it comes to me. Let me tell you something. The forgiveness that you want me to have. This is what I'm going to tell you. I have as much forgiveness for you as I have for myself. And I love you as much as I love myself. And I love myself. And I'm split. Know what I'm saying? I will rip myself apart to make sure that I get right what I want to get right in this life. I am doing my very best, which is making you motherfuckers work overtime to try to crush me. But guess what? Somebody's not telling you the whole truth about what's happening here. Because energy never dies, it only transforms. Let me clear my throat for you. Energy never dies, it only transforms. You can never get rid of certain energy. You can only deal with it. I have as much forgiveness for you as I have for myself. And we're all connected, you motherfuckers. Now, there was a time when I was programmed to be really, really, really freaking greasy. Really greasy. And I beat the fuck out of that hoe. Mentally and emotionally. To end up with what you see before you right now. And I ain't going back to be mind controlled by any of those thought projections for you. I don't have to look like any particular kind of angel for you to think that the Most High is with me. Because baby, I know. I know. Because it's in my blood. Yeah, back to the greasy part. And that I have as much forgiveness for you as I have for myself. That's the way that I look at you. Emotionally and mentally and even physically, if I have to, I will beat the freaking life force out of you in order to change it. Just like, you know, when you beat dough, when you change money, when you take a bath and you wash. I will give it all I got. Every fiber of anger hate and rage can be utilized during that time to turn that energy around. Because that's what I loathe. I'm honest about hating that. I'm honest about hating that part of myself that I was turned into. And there's no shame, because I've done my research and I know that a lot of it was the mind control, was the programming. Angers me that people would even put someone in a situation like that to do that to another person in hopes that they could escape their own fate. Like I said, the people that you would run to help you, the authorities are the ones doing it. So there's nowhere to run. Right. Nobody's going to help you. They'll tell you things like fake friends. They'll tell you things like, tell me what it is that you're struggling with, and we'll get a group of people together and we'll see what we can do to help you. So you share with them your domestic violence situation, and they say, gee, Gina, that's terrible. And they post it up there, just like you see the emotions. They like to see the emotions. You know, they like to see you distressed, because somehow they benefit from it. Is it the adrenochrome? What, you guys take stock in adrenochrome, you drug addicts? What is it? Huh? How many coins do you get for making me cry? How much money do you get for humiliating me and making me uncomfortable that you saw me naked and that you made me aware of that? How many points do you get for following me around and making me aware that white men are following me around, and that is supposed to intimidate me with my past, especially with the research that you guys, some of you are privy to my past, like you're all on different levels and stuff like that. Some of you are privy to my past. Some of you are privy to my real past. Some of you are privy to the fake past and the fake narrative. Some of you are just food for your own demons because you were hurt. You were hurt, so you think all people are greasy and grimy. You look at people and you say, yeah, like the Scorpio. You have that approach, right? It's hurt people, right? And the world teaches that hurt people, and that's the way it's got to be. The strong survive, and what strong means, those people that would check you for your shit. Oh, this is parental advised. This is not for children. This is not for children. This is not for children. But yet, you guys are acting like kids, like animals. The psychology of the gang stalking program is just phenomenal. I've studied psychology and personality, abnormal psychology. It's one of my favorite things. Now, I was reading something today about people study psychology because they don't know themselves, like they're not human, right? Because they had no real emotions or anchor to their own self, and that's why they got into being psychologists and therapists and stuff like that. And I laugh because there's an aspect of truth to that. I got into psychology, studying psychology and counseling, things like that, because the stuff that was going on when I went to see these people didn't make sense. I didn't know that those were the people that I should be staying away from, because I was in the gang stalking program and I was a TI. I didn't know that. I was just going to the places where you're supposed to go to when you need help, when you want to get your stuff together, right? Everybody's entitled You know, if the Most High woke them up this morning, Lord willing, that's what we say. If Lord's willing, I'm going to get that done. So everybody is entitled when they wake up in the morning to a new start, to do better than they did yesterday, to be a better person. I can see if you're waking up to go run the street, rob people, hustle people, hurt people. Oh no, that's y'all. That's you gang stalkers. That's not me. That's not us TIs. For the most part, not that I know of. So this program is invented to hurt people. And hurt people hurt people. And these are the same people that invented a program that works like this. So intricate. The sociology that is used, the intricate sociology, is just phenomenal. The personality studies to be able to get certain other gang stalkers to hunt other people for years at a time too. You know what I'm saying? Like the neighbor across the street that's a part of the 211 system. The landlord that looks at me in my face and smiles and says, "Hi, Regina." The Latinos that live next door to me over there. There's enough documentation. Even if I was just to give a verbal recount of what I've been going through for years, to prove that what I'm saying is true and it's real. But there's nobody to do anything about it. Because those are the people that are doing it. So I just felt so hurt. So hurt. I just burned like there's nowhere to go. It's like, feels like being burned at the stake, I would imagine. Where you just burn and there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to run. You just gotta take it. Just take it and take it and take it. Just smile and bear it. They're waiting for me to bust. Waiting for me to have a person can only take so much. I do so much. Frequencies and meditation and talking and laughter therapy. I mean, it takes so much for you fuckers to get at me, and you know it. So you're in every aspect of my life that you could possibly be in. And it does hurt. And like I said, I forgive you as much as I forgive myself. I basically ripped myself up and turned myself inside out to get to be the person that I am right now. And I love her. And you ain't in her. The memories of the person who could possibly do the kind of crap that I see you guys doing, the characters, the kind of personalities that I see coming at me. I already got rid of. I shot her down a rabbit hole. I will say scripture. I will pray. I will smile. I will do laughter therapy. I'll listen to my frequencies. I'll let you know what's on my mind. But I ain't you. And you're not me. Obviously, you don't want to be. Outside of the hacking my brain and taking little bits of my personality and stuff and just mirroring me, outside of mirroring me, you ain't me. You don't have my spirit. My daddy helped me with this spirit. He was a pedophile. And no matter how angry I got at him when I was growing up, because like I said, I hate pedophiles. He still tried to apologize and be a part of my life. Because he went to AA. And they taught him some spiritual principles and ish. The one thing that I did learn was, no matter how messed up you are, If you have a willingness in your heart to be better, don't let nothing stop you. I don't care if you killed 1,000 people. If you have a willingness in your heart to do better, next best thing, betterment, then do that. Do that. If you have an opportunity to rectify, to change, to atone, to make peace with your past, then do that. Don't waste your time making a bigger hole. So I choose to spend my time becoming a better person so that I can be closer to the Most High. Because it'll be far away from you. Far away. And I would be a liar if I didn't allow myself to my anger. I would also be a liar if I said I loved myself, but I wasn't angry, didn't allow myself to be angry at what you're doing, as if a sign of anger is a sign of non-forgiveness. You guys are getting it screwed up, okay? Because we are the same person, family. Like I said, my family, I got military family. I got family that's stalking me. I got family that's doing this shit. Real blood family. So I mean it metaphorically and literally, darling. I don't think you motherfuckers have been hearing me. All these years that I've been talking to you so sweetly. Been on my best behavior. And I still will be. I'm on my best behavior now, believe me. But I want to make sure you hear me. I want to make sure you know that I see you and I'm talking to you, family. Get me, right? My mom was military, okay? I got cousins that are into the, yo, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. Like I said, I was talking to me. See, you don't get it yet. That's why you do the dirty, stupid stuff that you're doing. I go to the grocery store, I get stalked. I wake up, I'm getting stalked. I go out in my backyard, I'm getting stalked. I go online, I'm getting stalked. Anywhere I go, I'm getting stalked. I made the choice to be the next best person that I can be. And I'm getting stalked. And it's humorous because your turn, if it hasn't overlapped for you already, your turn is coming. If you're not assimilated into being harassed by the AI system, your turn is coming. Because this is your future. So, take some good notes from watching me on how to survive the best way you know how. Yeah, today I decided to just take my time and talk to you. Social etiquette is totally gone. I hope you realize that, right? I'm not really using any right now. I pride myself on being raw. And in my little brain, sometimes there's a restraint because I'm like, okay, well, you do it for your family, right? Or for your friends, or for your mate, because those are the things that anchor you into the world, and you want to be on your best behavior for them, right? But under the circumstances, love bite and everything that I've been telling you, I really don't care, because family is a part of it. So I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm directly talking to you, because you already know. So we're not pretending. We're just being here right now. I'm not going through the public to convince them that you exist in order to talk to you, mofo. Okay? Because we know that you exist. I mean, there's lots of websites now proving that you exist and proving that you are the ones that were supposed to be the authority, that were supposed to be helping people to make better lives for themselves, are behind the targeted, the gang stalking program. And when I stand up for myself, I'm being threatened with a nice hospitalization stay, a nice mental health stay. The police are in on it. They help. They are a big part of the gang stalking. They are a big part of policing. The freaking ambulance is a part of the noise campaign. The Air Force, they take data from the TIs that they're doing medical, like they're doing research on, from the nanobites in our system, or the chips that they have planted in us from hospital stays or wherever they got their hands on our physical bodies at, and they put nano chips in us, knowing that for the rest of the population that are sheep, it sounds crazy as heck. So I ain't talking to them. I'm talking to you. Freaking airplane flying around. That research is there. I'm talking, like, where are the people at who've done this research? How much of this is there anybody in here that's freaking real? Because I'm kind of thinking, right? If you know I'm telling the freaking truth and that all this is stuff and going on, why are you standing around just watching me die as my friend? Why aren't you looking any of this up? That's how I freaking found out. Why would you want, like, why are you even on my Facebook? Why would you want to watch somebody have a meltdown that's just totally out of their mind? Like, why would that be entertaining? Why? When would you spend the time to ask that person, are they okay? Would you like to sit down and have a cup of tea? And maybe talk? Show me the research that you're talking about. All this family. Black power. Black power. Naive. Nine Ether can't like, subscribe, and share. Nine Ether's ego is too much. It's there. Melanated love. All these different compartmentalizations for figments of imagination. It's just people. Just people dealing with demons, domains, thought forms that choose to keep them or not. So, like, you know, if you're aware of what you're doing, if you are like I was back in the day when I didn't know that I was under mind control, and they had me in a headlock and I was doing all kinds of crazy stuff and I just didn't know. I don't hate you. Please wake up. Please wake up. You don't deserve that. You don't deserve to be puppeteered around. You know, perhaps you're one of the ones that will wake up one day and be like, they made me do all those things and I'm just so... You feel like you want to wring yourself out. You feel dirty. You feel angry. You feel frustrated. It's going to be alright because it wasn't your fault. And you start waking up from stuff that you you shoulda, woulda, coulda, wish that you didn't do, and you don't deal with the shadow part of the self, and you want to blame it on somebody else, which is not what I'm doing here. It's one of the tricks that are made to be perceived of what I'm doing here, but it's not. If gang stalking wasn't real, that's what I would be doing here, is making up something, a figment of my imagination, and saying, oh, these imaginary people are doing all this stuff to me, to little old me. And it would just be a figment of my imagination. It would be my unconscious mind. It would be a lie. It would be a crazy thought. It would be a psychosis. But it ain't. It's real. The real world. There really are neighbors violating my private space and helping to try to... They're helping terrorize me. There really are people following me around. There really are people monitoring my phone calls to where I call for housing on my own. Like, it should be really easy to maneuver, like to herd people from one space to another, the way that I see they're doing things. And then when I say in my mind, no, this can't be, it's just too intricate, I'll do the research and I'll look and yep, it's true. They're able to control your phone and coming and outgoing calls. What's seen on my Facebook? How many people are watching my Facebook? Imagine picking up your phone to call a friend, or to call for help, or to call a shelter, or to call, like, you know, to talk, and to keep you in a state of mind that's frustrated. When you pick up your phone to talk, it cuts off. You're only basically at times allowed to do certain things. Like, this serves a purpose because it probably looks sporadic, and it probably, maybe you feel like, you know, proves the helplessness stuff. And part of that is what they want to prove is how together their program is, how they can isolate someone and drive them crazy. So when they see a TI upset, that's like, product works. Look at that, the product works for them. You know, the crazier you look and the more unsettled you look, it just looks like they're efficient and the product works. You know. Hurt people. And I've run into, I think I don't know who you are. You've been hurt, you know, and the psychology of it is like, some of you are thinking like the world is a dark place, right? And you gotta survive. The world is a dark place, and you gotta survive. And there's been this shadowy or demonic presence over your life. Perhaps it was the curse of the bastard child. I don't know. But whatever it is your woes or hurts are, or were, like, I'm relating it. I'm empathizing with you, you know. These are my thoughts. These are things that I had thought before. So I'm relating that on this consciousness grid that this possibility, you're thinking the same way, that it's a dog-eat-dog world, and you got to get yours, you got to go for yours, do it to them before they do it to you. That's the kind of stuff we're being taught. That only the strong survive, and the strong are the ones that are the hustlers, that are the bullies, that are the people who are willing to put in the work. And that work is always to go in and mess somebody up and do some kind of emotional, physical damage. When does that work really include love? Like, what the freak out? Oh, the churches fell for the what is it, the tax write-off, the thing, I forget the name of it, but you can get funds, you can get finances and stuff. There's so many broke down churches and people who are really good people, lovely people, who want to share a space of tranquility and healing with other people. And they're not competing with those big churches and all that money and stuff like that. And they are servicing the poor in the community. And then you have other churches that are taking part in the government funding and stuff like that, which also includes the gang stalking program and sending their members out. Oh, would you like a part-time job? Like, how do you approach your church members to give them something like that to do that's so freaking evil? It's a fascinating world right now with the sociology, because I study sociology. I'm not just watching it, but it's very intricate, to see the different parts, how they play the different social dynamics and personalities against one another. The personality types, like they'll give the people who are the bullies and who like hurting people, who are sadistic, finances to attract the people who have problems with their ego, who feel like material things is where it's at, to attract that person with greed and with lust, right? And that covets. So they'll use the person that has the hate and envy and and all that pain and stuff, and they'll give them the cash, and then they'll cover up all their pain and hurt and shit that they have inside of them with the money and with these things, with the bling. So be careful of that shiny-ish. I remember I've said that. Be careful of the shiny-ish, because while you're looking at the shiny-ish, somebody with a shank got you, you know what I'm saying, in your back while you're not looking. And that's the whole purpose. So they'll take the person who's full of pain, who is afraid to actually deal with that stuff that's inside of them, the reason why we're here. And they'll go for the okie doke, which is the bag, the shiny stuff. And they'll use that person to attract the other person that has the other demonic energies and stuff that they're working with. So they'll use the person that wants the material things and their ego and stuff is wide open there to go frolicking after the other person, and they'll support that person for the finances, even if that other person dogs them out. And that's what that other person needs. That's really empty inside. So it's really interesting to see these social dynamics unroll and play out. But yet there's nothing that you can do about it, because it's a serenity prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And baby, that's me. I can change me and the way that I'm interacting with all of it. How? I gotta see that I'm that person that's gonna suck that shit and let that other bastard get away with his shit, because I need money. And I need to fix that in me. So instead of being angry at everybody else, because I got that stuff going on in me. I'm going to take on the biggest war that I've ever had in my life, the biggest fight in my life. I'm going to fix me. You ain't never asked for a better fight, boy. Like I said, I forgive you about as much as I forgive myself. I'm going to give you about as many breaks as I gave myself, I don't care about the way you look so much as I care about the what is in here, obviously. And I don't care about the way you spell as much as I care about what you're trying to say. That should be obvious to some of you. And I don't care about so much about what you did as much as I care about what you're trying to do about it now. What are you doing with it now? And I don't care how intelligent you are, as long as you can understand what the blip I'm saying right now. Because I'm speaking from the heart. We all have a choice. You terrorizing me every day ain't no different than my choice that I made to be terrorized. So you're making that choice to be over there. To be the one with your little buttons and your little secrets and your little gatherings. So you guys are a group. You group up on individuals. And you give yourselves a reason so that you can sleep at night. So that you can take that money. So that you can take that break or that out that they gave you. So that you can feel like you're a do-gooder and a good citizen. Oh, I must be some kind of whore in your mind. Some kind of killer. I must be super, super, super dirty for you to terrorize me in this capacity. You must have gave yourself 100,000 permissions every day. To utilize your children and your nannies and your teachers and your lawyers and the judges and everybody, you know what I'm saying? To co-sign the stalking of other American citizens. And all the while, I just see the Catholic Church there again with their exemption form. Come and say a few Hail Marys, give a few donations, do a few sermons, sessions, you know what I'm saying? Bada bing, bada boom. You get a pass. Bada bing, bada boom, you get a pass. Things can change, you know what I'm saying? With enough money and enough diligence and enough faith, bada bing, bada boom, things can change. That's how we got out of prohibition, you know what I'm saying? That's how we got all these lawyers and judges in the first place, you know what I'm saying? Bada bing, bada boom. If you know what I mean. And that's why we got a corrupt system in the first place, you know what I mean? Bada bing, bada boom. So now marijuana is coming out of prohibition. The world has changed and they need new money. All these hustlers, they got the hustling in their blood. Oh, they may be all clean. They may look clean with their suits on and their paychecks and their cell phones and their nice fancy cars and their vacations and they're shiny-ish. The shiny-ish that they can't take with them. So somebody must have told you I was a new kind of fool and you didn't care about all the pain and suffering that I went through my entire life due to this program. And if you think I'm going to sit around quietly and if you think I'm going to surrender by sitting in your church pew on Sunday next to the same pedophile, sadistic police officer, judge, or lawyer, or shopkeeper, you got to be out of your freaking mind. Because you guys need some serious help. You made it. The irony is just crazy. You made it. You made it so that I need help. And then I would come running to you. Excuse me. But you're the ones who are sadistic and actually need the help and are lost. And in the same way, there's no way for me to go. Because you're all corrupted. You're the ones doing it. When you wake up and realize you're on the other side of it, please don't call me. Don't call me, because that's pushing it a little bit, okay? Please don't call me and be like, oh, goodness. The Terminator and the Matrix was written by Sophia Stewart, but that's not her real name. That's the name that she uses for her books. But in real life, she's actually a paralegal or a lawyer affiliated with the legal system. How about you? Opening your eyes. There's oaths and allegiances that we've all taken in this lifetime. Even if it's just, when you went to school, I pledged allegiance to the flag, and that kind of thing. There's just no escaping being corrupted. So I'm not angry at those children who are brought into the program to be gang stalkers by their parents. I feel sorry for those children that didn't have parents that had a different opportunity for them, a different road for them to go down. I'm sad that my family didn't have a better road to go down. Empathizing with you and feeling bad for you and forgiving you doesn't mean that I'm not going to have any anger or that I want to subject myself to more harm every day. A forgiveness is difficult and can't be obtained if the person is going through the same types of humiliation. If the assault or the infliction that needs to be forgiven or wants to be forgiven is ongoing, then how can it be forgiven if you have to continuously do that every day? Every day I'm just giving it to the Most High and asking the Most High to keep my sanity and using the tools that I've learned, that I've researched, that I help and I share back with the community in hopes that it's reaching other people like myself, or other people who really do want help, or other people who want to turn around. They're using the grid grids. They have to be with this mind control. There's no way that you could, this many people can act non-human. This is definitely, this is not what happened back in the Nazi times. Like I said, the research, the technology they're using right now is upgraded. But thought forms and archons live through people. Demonic energy lives, they live through people. Lives through many people, because you can have one archon that can inhabit thousands, millions of people with that thought form, with the consciousness of that thought form. And what they're doing is they're getting so many people to think within this consciousness group over here that it takes away from the other, because it's like a tug of war when it comes to the belief systems and stuff. You feel it when you're talking to somebody that doesn't believe the same thing that you believe. So when you're looking at the whole consciousness grid and the consciousness field, the more people that's why controlling what we're thinking and how we're feeling about things is so important. If we're not working on our own demonic energies, our own counterproductive energies, the things that we need to be fixing on ourselves, then you ain't doing nothing. You ain't doing nothing useful. Because everywhere you go, there you are. And we bring our magnetism and ourselves with us. So we're just sharing whatever it is that we have inside of us. So every insecurity, every vulnerability, every as well as the good stuff, you know what I'm saying? So it'd be better, like, the more I pay attention to my shadow self and I work on it, the more room that I have for the good part of myself. Because I have acknowledged that other part, I don't have to hide it. So I'm spending so much time and energy hiding that ish anymore. I could just like be myself, and when it pops up, I'm aware of it because I'm not hiding it. You know what I'm saying? I'm working on it, and it's just a different feeling when you can put something behind you. And it hurts to have people trying to place the illusion that it's not behind you, that it's in front of you. You know, there's not one of you that doesn't have something that you need to fix or be forgiven for. Whether it's from your child, your mother, a friend, a lover, the Most High. So you're persecuting me instead of working on your own doggone self. Because if you were working on your own doggone self, what I'm doing with my life wouldn't be sending you to hurt me and distract me and try to demean me and bully me and isolate me and discredit me and just watch me melt down and act like it's a figment of my imagination. So I'm like, where are the real people? And I'm not talking to people that want to date me. Like, where are the real friends at? Real family? This is not a freaking joke. Anyway, I needed to say those things. I needed to empty myself of the rage and the anger that I was feeling. It was just way up here. That belongs to you, MFers, because you're trying to put it on me, and I'm aware of that. That is a reality. If A is true and B is true, then C is also true. These programs are true. It's all documented. It's online. And I feel emptier. I feel better. would be lovely to have some place to go, have a little peace, you know. That's what's so messed up about it. I don't want to be in you guys' way. I don't want to be in your vision. I don't want to be in your sights. I just want to get the freak out of your way. Why don't you ask your freaking authorities, ask your higher ups, why do you have to follow? Why can't they just put us someplace where we could be isolated by ourselves? Why do you have to spend so much money and time and brain power following us around, humiliating us and doing all this nonsense? Makes no sense.